Imagine that, at this exact moment, all of Earth's gravity suddenly disappears and stays off for exactly 3 seconds. At first, you wouldn't hear an explosion or any noise at all. Your weight would simply vanish instantly. The force that normally keeps you pressed to the floor would no longer exist, so your body, along with chairs, phones, cars, and any unsecured object, would immediately begin to float in a brief but very real state of weightlessness. But the situation would become far more chaotic almost immediately, because Earth isn't standing still. The planet is spinning at high speed, and everything on its surface is already traveling along with it. Without gravity holding you down, you and everything else would continue moving in a straight line due to the inertia of Earth's rotation, as if you had suddenly become projectiles launched into space. In the first second, many people would rise only a few centimeters, but lightweight objects would begin scattering everywhere, and anyone who was jumping or running would continue rising with nothing pulling them back to the ground. The air itself would begin to expand upward, because gravity is what normally keeps it wrapped around the planet. In 3 seconds, it wouldn't completely escape, but you would feel a strange change in pressure, as if the atmosphere were trying to slip away. The oceans would also react. Enormous masses of water would begin to lift and to form, ready to turn into massive waves the moment gravity returned. Meanwhile, buildings, designed to be compressed by their own weight, would experience sudden stress. They wouldn't all collapse in 3 seconds, but many structures would begin to separate or vibrate dangerously. Then the worst moment would arrive. At the end of the 3 seconds, gravity would suddenly switch back on. Everything that had been suspended in the air, people, cars, debris, and huge masses of water, would be pulled downward at the same instant. Even a small fall height can be dangerous, and millions of objects falling together would mean impacts, localized collapses, and shockwaves spreading everywhere. The oceans that had risen would crash back down, generating sudden tsunamis, while the atmosphere being compressed back toward the surface would produce violent turbulence. Scientists even suggest that the sudden return of weight across Earth's crust could trigger seismic activity in some regions. The surprising part is that, on a cosmic scale, 3 seconds would not be enough to destroy Earth's orbit or send the moon flying away. The planets would continue almost undisturbed, because they are already moving at enormous speeds, and it would take much longer to significantly alter their paths. However, for anyone on the surface, those 3 seconds would feel like a slow-motion nightmare. First the unreal lightness, then the silent chaos of everything floating, and finally the brutal return of weight. In the end, humanity probably wouldn't be completely wiped out by such a brief shutdown of gravity, but the world would still suffer widespread accidents, devastating waves, and millions of sudden falls, all concentrated into just 3 seconds that would feel like an eternity.